That's right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If you're watching right now, you're watching an empty basket of the Princess Penny. Because she decided not to get up this morning. She goes, I need my beauty sleep. Now me, you can depend on every day to be here. Even when I can use some beauty sleep, you can depend on me to be here. So how you doing this morning? Hey, I'm Ann Eller right here on WCRS. I guess I better straighten myself up here a little bit. I have decided to have a day of reminiscing and how it comes together based on how Ann's mind works. There you go. You know, I want to, first off, I want to give you the weather because you may have to get going, get out of here. You may not have checked it out. So let's discuss the weather. And because Penny hasn't gotten up this morning, guess what? I haven't been outside. So let's see. Let's take a look here. Oh, what is the weather? I know the sun's out. That's right, 73 degrees. Feels like 73 degrees. We are looking for a high today of 87. It is Thursday, June 25th. God, you just realize it's June 25th. 6 months from today is Christmas? I just looked at that, 25th. What does that mean? Oh my God, it's June 25th. We're looking at Christmas coming up here. 6 months away. You better start working on it. That's right. Anyways, 87 degrees is supposed to be the high. Low of 69. No real chance of any rain. We should have sunny to partly cloudy skies. Friday comes in at a high again of 87, a low of 72. The difference is we're going to have rain coming down. Looks like about a 60% of rain. Partly cloudy early, scattered thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. And as I said, chance of rain about 60%. Saturday, however, guess what? The rain clears out if it comes. Any rain that we have clears out. We are going to have a high of 91, low of 72, intervals of clouds and sunshine. Stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. So not bad. That looks pretty good. Sunday, high of 91, low of 72, ditto day, increase in some chance of showers, about 40%. However, Monday comes in with a high of 94, low of 73. Tuesday's ditto. Wednesday, July 1st is supposed to clock in at a high of 97, folks, and we haven't even got to the 4th of July. High of 95, low of 75. Tuesday, a ditto day. I can't believe these ditto days. Wednesday, July 3rd. No, Friday, July 3rd. Friday, July 3rd. It is a high of 99 degrees here in Greenwood, according to this. Now, of course, it could change in a week. High of 99, low of 75. And then Saturday, the 4th, it's another hot one, folks. High of 98, low of 72. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Of course, you and I both know that can change in a whisper. Yes, that's right. So, you know, there's been all this emphasis for the last, particularly, I'm going to say 3 or 4 weeks on politics, that I thought maybe we'd take a break from it. So if any of you want to turn the dial, go ahead. It's okay. I'll take the loss. But I need a break from it, folks. I thought we would talk about something that has kind of to do with travel, family vacations, and yet something that is going on and something that's been lost. How about that? I think that covers it pretty darn well. What do you think about that? I want to talk about, you're going to say, oh, Ann, I can't believe you're going to talk about this. America 250 and the Great American State Fair. state fairs. I mean, this is supposed to be an iconic experience. Now, I am not going to go. I am not going to go. I'm not. Penny said she said she'd rather opt for some different trip, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. But last night they opened it with a lot, of course, fanfare and aplomb. And you know President Trump, he is a showman. And so the way it opened, it is Trump style. It is Trump style. And of course they had Lee Greenwood. Every time I see Lee Greenwood out there singing God Bless the USA, I look at him. I mean, he's such a little guy, and he's getting pretty old, and he wrote this song, and it's a beautiful song, and everything is great about it, but you just think, Lee, how many more times are you going to sing this song? I mean, he's still doing well. Not as well as he did it, 25, 26 years ago, but he still does it well. But anyways, of course, it opens with that, with him introducing President Trump. President Trump standing there looking over the whole group, the whole view from where he was. They had it right there on the Mall of America there at Washington, D.C. They had military jets flying over. They had Lee Greenwood singing God Bless America. And then, of course, President Trump spoke. Okay, all right. And as usual, it's very Trump-esque. But that is, of course, part of it. But what interested me is, they're going to have all these different booths from the United States and the territories. And I've heard on the news, I think they're going to have 56. I was a little confused. I thought we had 50 states, but then you had the territories and whatnot in. And so, okay, all right. So we come up with 56. Now, some states had decided not to participate. Now, they say this is non-political, but, some states really decided that they would not participate. Most of them said it was because of money. But I do find it interesting that Maine was one of the ones. And, Maine and President Trump have not gotten along very well. I would have thought if Maine was doing a booth, they would, all they would have had to have for this one, having been from Maine, I can say this. A bunch of pine trees, the coast, a jagged coast, not a long, lovely beach coast like we have in South Carolina, but a jagged coast, and then some lobster, in a tank, or created a saltwater thing with that. That's what I think would have been appropriate for Maine. I don't know. What do you think about it? Some of the states I was reading about, what was I reading about this morning? What Oklahoma was doing for their state fair, which for their Great American State Fair booth. This one, they were going to have, what was it they were going to have? It says officials from Washington, Massachusetts, Illinois, North Carolina, and Connecticut said they declined to organize booths for their state, citing limited finances. Groups from each state, though, have volunteered to represent them at the fair. Well, I don't see Maine on this list. Did Maine get it together? I don't know. Or, but what happened is different organizations decided to come in and use it as an advertising or to promote their part of the state or whatever. So, but this one that I wanted to tell you about was, Arizona's pavilion will take visitors through a sensory journey, explained this creative director. You'll start with the warm cathedral light in Antelope Canyon. Then you transition into a cool, dappled light of the Ponderosa pine forest. And lastly, you wander into a Sonoran desert nightscape where the black light subtly illuminates stars and the cactuses. Okay. But the one I really, Montana will be able to explore fossil digging station. That's pretty cool. But where's the one for Oklahoma? This is the one I thought sounded pretty cool. I haven't got to South Carolina, so hold on a second. I think South Carolina has, as usual, knocked it out of the park. Oklahoma's pavilion will replicate the smells of the prairie and use lighting to show the transition from sunrise to dark evening. Fans will also be placed throughout the tent to evoke the lyrics "Where the Wind Comes Sweeping Down the Plain" from the musical Oklahoma, of course. Isn't that cool? I think that's pretty cool. And it says, we really wanted to focus on dispelling some preconceived notions about Oklahoma and getting people to see all the diversity and wonderful experiences we have to offer in our state, said the director of Oklahoma Tourism. So I think that's kind of cute. There's going to be rodeo shows featuring precision riding demonstrations, traditional Mexican charro performances. Visitors will have the opportunity to participate in meet and greets with American miniature therapy horses. These are just some of the exhibits that'll be going on. So that's one part. But now you're probably dying to know, unless you already know, what will South Carolina have in their booth? Well, this is where I think it's very, very, very South Carolina. The thing that they don't have in it, though, I'm changing up here. What doesn't South Carolina have in it? They don't have the shag. I don't understand. We don't have the shag. There, from what I've read, now, of course, this was just some articles that I read, so I don't know. There may be more going on than I thought. What else do they not have? Well, according to what I was reading, they do not have a booth with sweet tea in it. Seems like they should have sweet tea. However, they are only 600 square foot booths. I mean, I guess probably if somebody was willing to pay for more, maybe they could have a bigger booth, but they're only 600 square foot booths. But the idea, I think, is tremendous. Okay, tell us what South Carolina has. Okay, South Carolina has a mini golf course. Okay, mini golf course, 3 holes, I think it is, of like a miniature golf. They have, okay, what else do they have? All right, I've lost my train of thought. A mini golf course. God, what else do they have? I've lost my train of thought. Mini golf course. A mini golf course. They've got 3 holes. Oh, yeah, cornhole. Now, I don't know. I don't really associate cornhole with South Carolina, but anyways, that's why I couldn't think of it. It's cornhole. They have a cornhole exhibit there. And then the best part of what I think they have done, and I think when you think about it from a cost aspect and everything, because the booths, some of these are so elaborate, and I agree, the expense, and you had to pay for it yourself, which some states said they didn't think they should have to pay for their booth. What is the other thing, Ann? Postcards. They're going to have mailable postcards representing the state of South Carolina. Isn't that cool? That's a memento that you could mail it to somebody else, but you could mail it to yourself, and hopefully if the U.S. Mail is doing their job, you'll get a postcard in a few weeks when you get back after your trip. Postcards. What a throwback to something that has been iconic in travel. When we think about travel, when I think about it, you know how you always had to, everybody would say, send me a postcard, send me a postcard. Do you remember that? I remember that. And now you just send them a picture. I've got a postcard around here. This is off on a different tangent, but I've got a postcard here where you could check the box on all the things you did. You didn't even have to write on the postcard. It was a generic, it was called the generic postcard. I love that postcard. And it would have all the things, you know, where you ate, someplace where you ate, what you did. You just didn't have to think. You just checked the boxes. But anywho, that is the South Carolina booth. I'm sure we'll get pictures of it. There may already be pictures of it out there. I didn't see any last night when I was thinking about this topic. But what, and then I started thinking, if I was designing that booth, what would I have in South Carolina? To represent South Carolina, how about just a big pile of sand with the ocean smell to it? How about something like that? What would you think? I know somebody I was talking to early this morning said, how about sweet tea, Ann? That would have been a good remembrance of it. And you're right, that would be. But what other things would you think would be good for South Carolina? 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355, or you can join me right here on Facebook Live. So Facebook Live, WCRS Radio. Love to have your company. I think the shag, having some music, and the music of the shag would have been kind of cool. Maybe a little video of people doing the shag, getting people to stop and go, "What is that dance?" But there's a lot of other things. You know, one of the things that I love about South Carolina, and one of the things I love about living here in Greenwood, is you're not too far from anything. 2 or 3 hours and you can be in the mountains. 3, maybe 4 hours you can be at the beach. But you have so much variety in this state. So I think to use postcards as a way to describe South Carolina was actually pretty darn good. So, but a pile of sand, and let people, or be giving out samples in a little container or something, and you could smell the ocean smell. Well, that's like creating Oklahomas with when the wind comes flying down the plain. I mean, you know. But then I was thinking about the Great American State Fair. And this is going on in Washington, D.C. It actually opens today and goes for 10 days, goes through the 5th of, or maybe through the 4th, I don't know, of July. But it's 10 days. And I started thinking about going to the World's Fairs. Growing up, that was a thing. I can actually say I've been to the, I think the first World's Fair I went to was in Quebec. Was that right? I think that's right. Quebec, Montreal, Quebec, went there. And my family went. And we took a camper. It was the first time and the last time we pulled a camper behind a car. I was getting ready to go away. I was going away to school, but I was being had to take some tests. And my family, in its ultimate wisdom, said, "Well, Ann, you could just take the test while we're riding up there. We'll put you in the back of the camper." So here I am, This is a deviation from the story, but I just happened to think about this. Here I am in the back of this camper travel trailer being pulled. We rented one now. We didn't own it. We rented one. And they attached it to the back of our car. And my father, who did not usually drive campers, trailers, anything like this, is pulling this thing as we leave from Maine to go to Canada. And I'm supposed to be sitting in the back taking this test. What a hoot. I think it was math. I think when I got put into school, they thought my math score was a little low. Well, I didn't dare tell them that I'd been taking the test in the back of a camper while it was moving. So anyways, we get up there to Canada and we go to it, and the name of the expo, just humor me a little bit, was Expo 67. Expo 67. And it ran from April 28th till October 29th. And there was a big geodesic dome, and that actually was the exhibit for the United States, because countries came from all over the world to go to these. I'm sure you've at least probably been to one in your life, maybe not. But the theme of this one was Man and His World. It was named after a book from 1931, and this whole theme was divided into 5 main subtitles: Man the Explorer, Man the Creator, Man the Producer, Man the Provider, Man in the Community. And the U.S. took this big geodesic dome, I think, 250 feet tall. It was pretty cool. At the time, it was pretty cool. And it had all these angles to it, and it looked kind of like a big golf ball, but it was all angled all the way up. I was reading last night about it, and it said it got destroyed in a fire. So that's kind of sad. But we went to this exhibit. We camped. That was the one time we did camping. My father said he never wanted to be that close to any of us again. That he loved us, but he just didn't want to be sleeping in the same room with my brother, my sister, me, and, well, of course, my mom and my dad. So, I mean, that was a small group, but anytime anybody rolled over in that camper, because we didn't have it actually the end set up the way it was supposed to be, the thing rocked a little bit. So if you were smart, you just laid very still. Okay. But I remember that experience. I'm sure that probably some of you remember the experiences of yours. But I happen to be thinking about what happened to world fairs, the world, the world expos. Well, in 1984. The last one was here in the United States. We haven't hosted one since then. It was actually in New Orleans. I never went to that one. I did go to the one in, I think the last one I went to was in Tennessee. Wasn't it? Was it in Knoxville, I think? Anyways, they quit having them because of, number one, they weren't profitable. People started not going to them. I think the most people that ever went, they had one in New York City. I went to New York. I think the one in Montreal, Canada, I read was, what was it? A huge amount of traffic. It set the record for the single day attendance record for a World's Fair with 569,500 visitors on its third day. That was Expo 67. So, I think we have changed so much how we do things. And I think that when we went to World's Fairs, what happened to these expos, the Montreal Expo, um, the the New York World's Fair. I mean, I think, wasn't there one, a Space Needle one out on the West Coast? But we in the United States used to host a lot of them. But the last one that they had was in Japan. It ended, I think, in 2025. But of course, Americans as such aren't going, but they also say they're not the same anymore because with the advent of technology, you don't need these expos. These expos used to be things that showed off the technology of the time, the innovations of the time. Um, I, I just think that so many of these things we just do vicariously on the internet. We don't have to travel to see these things anymore. But you know what I remember? I remember the experiences of being together with my family, about how much who wanted to go where, the same things that families deal with when you go to a state fair, right? State fairs today are a lot different than what state fairs were 50 years ago. So anyways, it was just a topic I was kind of thinking about last night. I was also thinking about how much I like they're going to have, I think they're going to have fireworks. I think they're also going to have a drone fireworks shows. And, you know, I think the drone fireworks are so neat from the standpoint of, I love fireworks. But you and I both know that dogs, pets, even people, and I'd never thought about this till last night. What about people who have autism that don't like the noise and this type of thing? They can't enjoy the fireworks because of this, because of the noise. But when you put together a drone show and you're just seeing all the lights and the changing and everything into beautiful designs, it really is something that is totally different. I'd love your input. What do you think about? Do you like a drone show, or have you got to have old-time fireworks? But I really like that. When I went to the Trans-Siberian concert this last December, I think it was, I went to, they had a drone show inside the Bon Secours arena there, and that was very, very cool. So when we think about fireworks and drones and this type of thing, just think about what the aspects that they can do, how beautiful. Of course, every once in a while, one does fall out of the sky, and that creates a hole, but then those drones, they just adapt. But of course, it's not good if one falls out of the sky. But they're going to have old-time fireworks over there in 96, and then we'll have other old-time fireworks displays. So there's plenty of opportunities. But I think my dog Gracie, she was so scared when there were fireworks that she just never, ever, ever was able to enjoy it, And so it made me not enjoy it. Just some random thoughts this morning about fireworks, 4th of July coming up, drones, I tell you what a difference those have made. And what the experiences that people that go to the greatest American state fair. Yes, it is 10 o'clock in the great state of South Carolina right here on WCRS. And what will be the takeaway from the Great American State Fair? You know, I think it's a terrific idea. I think to be able to put in one place, as we're celebrating 250 years of our country, to put together these, having only had, I think it's 600 square feet, but to only have that much space to be able to identify what makes your state great or what you're trying to put out there would be a great experience to be able to go to. I also think about all the people and the crowds and all that kind of stuff. And I'm okay with not going because you know what? I'll be able to see videos and share everybody's experience that way. But the point I wanted to make is that all this time when most of us were growing up, that family vacation, that going to an unfamiliar place or going to a familiar place created so much experiences about what we are all about today. Those things become part of our fabric. It's like South Carolina and sweet tea. And when you go up north, you're never going to find a glass of sweet tea, are you? And people coming down here to South Carolina, when they have a glass of our sweet tea, sometimes they almost gag on it because it's so darn sweet. Depending on where you go, it can be really sweet. And so that's why we have the Arnold Palmer. Half sweet tea, half unsweet, put it together, delicious. But it is the experiences that we have in life that that grow us together and make us remember special things. And I guess when I started doing the Great American State Fair, looking at it and asking the question, well, what's South Carolina going to have? And they're going to have, like I said, the 3-hole, the mini golf. They're going to have cornhole, and then they're going to have the postcards. I thought, what a great way to symbolize it, and the idea of being able to mail yourself a postcard back here, or you could mail it to whoever, but the idea of doing that is really a throwback to the vacation and the ideas of trips and everything that we used to treasure so much. I think people still treasure vacations, but they're so different. People that go on vacations, they don't really change their behavior much, do they? They still take their phones. They still take pictures. They still are doing all the regular things. When we went on vacation, in fact, my family had very few vacations, and probably because when we took that travel trailer, went to Canada to go to the World's Fair, we stayed at a campground. Lots of people look back on those experiences growing up and say they're great. In my family, we decided we'd never wanted to go camping again. That's true. That's true. Anyways, I'm Ann Eller. That's just a little short about the past, and I wanted to transition into a drone story that I just thought was so fabulous, and look at the way it could be changing how criminals are captured. That's right. Criminals are captured. I know there's probably other stories about this, but I found this one fascinating. This came to us from California. A suspected criminal was, they had hunted him down. He was asleep in looked like a mini warehouse thing is what, or asleep or passed out or whatever. Anyways, he'd fallen asleep with a knife in his hand. And the police did not want to go in there to try to wrestle him, because you never know how somebody's going to wake up and what could happen. They didn't want to send a canine in there because they didn't want the canine to get hurt. It looked like a pretty sharp switchblade type thing. So they sent a drone in. They put a heavy magnet on the drone, and they were able to suck the knife out of the guy's hand before he woke up and get the knife away from him. Now think about that. A drone made the initial attack, and then the police went in there and got their man, and there was nothing unfair about it. He didn't have his knife or a gun or anything. The drone had taken care of that. The drone had disarmed him. Think about the future of capturing criminals or potential criminals. I was just thinking about how dropping how you could drop a rope. almost like a lasso around the guy. Tighten the lasso and the drone will have done it all. What do you think about that? Oh, yeah, all kinds of ideas there. Well, I'm sure we'll see different things coming out, but that is, they said that was the first time that a drone had gone in with a heavy magnet and pulled a knife out of somebody's hand. Now, there's going to be all kinds of sides about the unfairness about it, about civil liberties, about all this kind of stuff. But take the story on just its basis. A drone sucking a knife out of a guy's sleeping hand, by the way. When I first saw the story, I thought maybe the guy was going crazy and had the knife and everything, and the drone was able to fly in there and suck it out. No, the guy was asleep. But still, when you think of the control and the ability to do that. Well, that's the stories for today, folks. That's the stories for today. I realize that we could be talking about the Supreme Court. We could be talking about what's going to happen on a moratorium. We could be talking about any of a number of stories there, but I chose to diverge and go down a different road. You know, that's one of my favorite poems, Robert Frost, Two Roads Diverged in a Yellow Wood. Yes, I'm Ann Eller, right here with you on WCRS Radio. I want to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the things going on in our area. Love to hear, do you have a favorite story from your going on vacations? Did you go to the World Fairs? Did you have a favorite World's Fair that you went to? Do you have any of those mementos? I actually do. It's true, folks. Do you have any mementos, or do you just remember the way it was? That's right, the way it was versus the way it is today. I kind of wish World Expos, World Fairs would come back. You know, those were neat things to go to, but I understand the expense. Anyways, we'll be right back. We're going to be talking about events, things happening in our area. Don't want you to forget some of the things that we've had right here. We had Karen Petit on yesterday afternoon talking about her book and some other good things and all the events going on this weekend. So you stay right with me right here on WCRS. I know some of you probably are surprised. Ann's not bitching about something here today. No, I'm thinking about time and fun that I've had in my past life. Yeah, must be getting old, Ann. We'll be right back. Don't you go away. Take it away. We'll be right back.
There's no place like this place anywhere.
Hey, did you see Bob? He just tried a yoga class, upside down.
And Jane just swam 10 laps while juggling her water bottle.
Somehow, I feel like I belong here.
You do. This is the Greenwood YMCA, where everyone's having fun and everybody knows your name.
There's no place like this place anywhere. Come join the fun and make 2026 the year you belong. At the Greenwood YMCA, there's no place like this place.
At Greenwood Pathway House, we are a Christian ministry that helps people make changes in their life so that they can overcome homelessness permanently. Helping those who are living in Greenwood or Abbeville County at the time they became homeless, we provide residents with the support and training they need to build functional lives, obtain employment, and move into their own homes. Visit our website at gwdpathway.org or call us at 223-4460 to learn how you can make Greenwood and Abbeville stronger by helping people from our area overcome homelessness.
Have a favorite blizzard from Dairy Queen? Did you know you can make it into a Dairy Queen blizzard cake?
DQ. Happy tastes good.
Make every occasion special with a blizzard cake only from your local Dairy Queen on the 72 bypass. Order one today.
DQ. Happy tastes good.
So make your next occasion extra special with your favorite blizzard as a cake. Only from Dairy Queen.
DQ. Happy tastes good.
Step up to the plate with Greenwood American Legion Post 20, celebrating our 85th consecutive year of proud tradition. This season brings new energy with head coach Corby Long leading the way, building champions in baseball and softball on and off the field. From the diamond to the dugout, we're more than a team, we're family, and it's the best deal in town. Kids 12 and under are free. Join the tradition, bring the family, be part of Post 20's legacy today.
Well, I guess I'll just go ahead and say something because I didn't get back to the music. Well, the commercial break is over and Anne's back right here on the radio. Penny is taking a siesta this morning. She told me I was crazy. She is sleeping in this morning, so here's what you see when you see Penny here this morning. Nope, she's not even gotten out of bed yet this morning. Somebody asked me yesterday, how long does Penny sleep? I was like, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, this morning she's still sleeping. That's right. So anyways, I'm going to have to finish up here pretty quick because she's probably going to need to go out and she hasn't gotten up yet. But anyways, I'm Ann Eller right here this morning live from WCRS Radio. Yes, we are on Facebook Live. Yes, we are on the radio. Yes, we're talking about the way we were and now the way we are. When you look at, more people and more people that I talk to all the time would go, yeah, that was great. Yeah, this was fun. And, as we approach the 4th of July and all the celebration, all the hoopla that is well deserved about 250 years of our country. And as I think about the things that I did on the 4th of July and everything, I just want to find an old-time 4th of July celebration. I wouldn't mind seeing a drone show for fireworks, but there is something about what we grew up saying as classic Americana and what we deal with today, or even some of our areas not even wanting to do. There's not really anything big going on in Greenwood. As we celebrate 250 years, there are all kinds of things going on, and I get it. People are tired. I do know that on July 4th, that Saturday morning, I think 9 or 9:30, they're going to have a reading of the Declaration of Independence. They're going to have some reenactors dressed at the Veterans Center. That will be right in front of the Veterans Center in Uptown Greenwood. But no parade. And I love parades. So on that day, I am looking for a place to go where they have old-time parade, where they have an old-time celebration. And I want to take and introduce Penny. Yes, I'm thinking about taking Penny on a road trip and try to find that classic, iconic Americana that I remember growing up. So if you know a place, 864-332-9355. I'd love to hear from you. 864-332-9355. I'm looking for old-time classic 4th of July celebrations that just happens to be huge this year. Why? Because it's 250 years. So, and are you going? Are you going to the the Great American State Fair? I think our state fair here in South Carolina is pretty darn amazing. I had a great time going to that back in October, and I plan to go again this year and cover a different angle. But, yeah, anyways, let's talk about some of the events going on. I wanted to talk about what's coming up this weekend and hope the weather does not cause a problem. So the Festival of Stars, the Festival of Stars, that's an interesting story. Don't know if you know the story of that. The Festival of Stars started up the year Piedmont Tech, for a myriad of different reasons, did away with where everybody used to go, where everybody knew your name. No, where everybody used to go for 4th of July. They would have a big celebration out there and hot dogs and, the whole 9 yards. People would gather and have a good time. Then they'd have their huge fireworks display. Well, at some point, and I don't remember exactly what year this was, they decided they were not going to do it anymore. And this was an opportunity for somebody to pick that up. Well, actually, I think Margie Blaylock had a lot to do with the start of that, because she was working in '96 I think she was helping with their tourism department over there, special events, whatever. And '96 had been looking for something, an event, a signature type event. So they started it by sending out letters to anybody and making a plea. In fact, Margie came on the show here and talked about how they needed however many dollars it was, and they wanted people who were from '96 to send $13. That's all they wanted, was $13. And they figured if they got enough people contributing $13, they'd be able to put on their '96 Festival of Stars. Well, my God, where it has come from where it started. But that is why we have the Festival of Stars. They wanted to do something. Piedmont Tech quit doing it for, I don't remember the reason, but I think a lot of it was economic time and all this type of thing. So '96 took it over, and they did it by garnering $13, they asked for $13. Now, of course, a lot of people gave more than $13. People that were from '96 heard about it and sent the $13 to it. It's really quite a cool story. And so it started off, I think, originally on 4th of July and then moved back a weekend so that it would not conflict with the 4th of July and whatnot. But what a cool story. What a cool idea in order to put '96 on the map. And boy, did it put '96 on the map. Well, here we have whatever year of Festival of Stars this is. It's another one coming up this weekend. So they have put together a lovely tradition, of course, and it's also honoring the 250th anniversary. On Friday, the festival is from 4 to 10 p.m. They've got, check out the 4th South Carolina Regiment of Artillery kickoff, following with music from Trey Stevens at 6 p.m., followed by Surrender Cobra, A Month of Mondays, and headliners G3N, founded in 2024. And that is made up of Chris Alexander, Monfredi Allen, Joshua Lattimore, joined by Sean McElrath, Carlton Jameson, and Raymond Pearson. So that'll be a big time on Friday night. Of note, on Thursday, you can get wristbands to be able to do rides. That is something that they've started, so you can start on Thursday. But that's Friday is the kickoff from 4 to 10. On Saturday, the festival is from 10 to 10. Starting at 1 p.m., they'll have all kinds of music going on. Lola Grace, Kyle Anton, Pope and Bert, Cooper Lane, and Chris Turner. Fireworks begin after a cannon demonstration by the 4th South Carolina Regiment of Artillery in honor, I'm sure, of our 250th anniversary. That's after Chris Turner's set. A soft opening is today from 4 to 10 p.m. Lets you get in on amusement rides before the festival officially starts. Ride wristbands will be available Thursday and Friday only for $25. After that, ride tickets will be $1 each. Emerald City Entertainment will also be on site with DJ between scheduled musical artists. So they're also having a cruise in from 10 to 2 on Saturday near Fortner Motors with payouts for entries that include vehicles, motorcycles, and more, plus craft vendors and food trucks will be on site. I did happen to see a post yesterday. Evidently, there was some problem with some of the food vendors, not the food vendors part, but the getting everything approved through the state. So, from what I understand, there was some issue there, so you may not see some of the food vendors that you would expect to see there, but you still will see other food vendors that I guess they had it all approved and worked out. Just thought I would mention that. So also, if you want to check that out, that is going on this weekend, but also on Saturday from 11 to noon is one of the final events of the Festival of Flowers. That's right. This is the Pollinator Week celebration and scavenger hunt. It's free and it's happening rain or shine. So it says, make your way to the edible garden located by the Uptown Farmers Market, 220 Maxwell Avenue. Yes, they actually have an edible garden, and you can go over there and check it out. But this is where it's going to start. They have butterflies, bees, host plants, nectar-rich blooms. This event is hosted by Bee City. And they will be having a scavenger hunt. Now, I don't know much more about it other than it starts right there, but that sounds like a fun family event. So they also, out there, flags, buntings, and more in recognition of America 250. Sunday through July 7th are Patriotic Pier Days on Lake Greenwood. This sounds really, really cool. Connect Lake Greenwood is hosting a lake-wide America 250 celebration. Residents, businesses, and waterfront communities and marinas are invited to bring out the red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. So there you go. I think that sounds pretty cool. Everybody's probably going to be out on the lake. So what a cool thing to be decorating your pier, your boat, whatever you want to decorate in honor of America 250. So fireworks will be this weekend right there at Festival of Stars. So if you want a fireworks, then of course fireworks, of course, or the booths are already, the firework trucks, they're already being set up all over Greenwood. I look for the day when they have drone fireworks trucks where you can go and buy a pack of drones and you simply tear it open, and instead of lighting a firework, you turn it on, and these drones go flying up into the sky and form all kinds of cool things. What do you think about that? Now, that would be pretty cool. And maybe people wouldn't get hurt or be doing crazy, stupid stuff. But, in the meantime, we do have fireworks, and people need to be careful with their fireworks. All right, let's talk about some other events that are going on. I hope you like my show today about all this other stuff going on, about our great American State Fair, about thinking back to what was and how things were. I love to hear from you. 864-332-9355. 864-332-9355. You can communicate that way. You can also go right on our Facebook page this morning. So that's at WCRS Radio. if you do not do Facebook, go right there, 864-332-9355. Yes, it's true. Ann is off the chain here with stories like you don't usually get to hear. But I thought it would be fun to talk about this. So here we go. Let's see. Anything else? Oh yes. What does this one say here? Yep. There's no, okay, all right. Don't think we really want to talk about that one on the air. Okay, what about that one? No, don't think we can talk about that one. Anyways, I appreciate any and all. Do want to remind you that Chick-fil-A and WCRS are partnering together to bring breakfast for a bunch, and this has been ultimately a very successful promotion. You will have the opportunity, I think it is Tuesday is the next one. The last day of the month, I believe, is Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday is the last day of the month. We're going to be giving away another breakfast for a bunch. Breakfast for a bunch. So I hope you will get those entries in. I've received entries on public works groups that work in our community. I've received them on nonprofits. I've received them on businesses. You can nominate anybody or any group that you think is deserving in getting something for their work, whether they are a for-profit, a nonprofit, a church group, anybody that does things in our community that you think would like shown a little love by doing breakfast for a bunch. Chick-fil-A would love to delight and do this for you and do something just a little surprising, something that people would not expect. So you have the weekend to get another entry in of note. We do keep those entries on file, but always looking to add new ones to the pile. And let us know who you think deserves a delightful and surprising Chick-fil-A breakfast just for being who they are and what they contribute to our community. So small business, public works group, governmental group, business, nonprofit, for-profit, anybody that does good things in our community on a let's say on a consistent basis. I mean, if it's a one time they knock it out of the park, we would like to honor them. WCRS and Chick-fil-A, because Chick-fil-A always has something delightful and surprising for you at Chick-fil-A. All right, so do that today. Send those entries to 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355. Make sure you do that today. We'll be picking another entry to come out on Tuesday on right here, the I Love Ann show. All right. That's a good one. Now, let's talk about some of the events going on. Let's click right over here. And, well, let's see. No, let's click over here and see what you have put aside here, Ann. That's, I think, what we're going to do. Take it away. You can also always contact me through our legacy number, 864-229-7984. That's 864-229-7984. 864-229-7984, and leave a message right there, leave a text, and I'll be sure to get it. The new number, you can just do a telephone call and it'll turn it into a text, 864-332-9355. All right, let's check out some events going on, and we're going to finish up here for today on the I Love Ann show. You know, do you follow those eagles on Her Majesty's? I think that's so fascinating, the bald eagles that we have here in Greenwood. So But let's see. Let's scroll down. Okay. There are some neat things if you like to get out and pick your own vegetables, fruits, etc. Holcomb Blueberries Farm. Come to the largest you pick blueberry farm in the upstate. We're absolutely loaded with big, juicy blueberries. Nice manicured rows, easy picking. This is over in Honeypath, 316 Oakwood Drive. And their phone number is 864-634-5407. That's 864-634-5407. $15 per gallon you pick, $25 per gallon pre-pick. That's amazing. I think that's amazing. So if you'd like to go pick some blueberries, I think that would be an excellent thing to do. It's over in Honeypath, 316 Oakwood Drive. Oakwood Drive in Honeypath. All right. Now, Fat Daddies wanted to make sure that I told you that pre-order for July 4th, pulled pork, brisket, chicken, ribs, hash. Call 864-223-9111. I think it's 864. I think they put 865. I'm pretty sure it's 864-223-9111 for all your barbecue emergencies. Make sure you check that out. There's nothing like some delicious Fat Daddy's barbecue. All right, coming up on Saturday morning sounds like a fun event for the kids. Toy Story 5. They're having a family movie pajama party Saturday morning. Includes Toy Story bingo, donuts, and orange juice. There you go. Grab your favorite PJs and come out to Toy Story 5. PJ Party screening this Saturday at Premiere. We'll be playing bingo, and each ticket comes with donuts and orange juice for all customers. As a bonus, it says bring a toy to help donate to our local toy drive. That is great. So that is going on this Saturday, and unfortunately, I don't see a time. So maybe you check with Premier Theaters here in Greenwood. All right, I wanted to mention this. This is a good program that's been ongoing this summer, but something I thought deserved re-mentioning. Edgewood Community Center, breakfast and lunch, free giveaways, good food, strong community, everyone welcome, 9 to 12, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Free breakfast and lunch, no registration, no questions, just good food for everyone. Children, families, seniors, and individuals, all are welcome. So our community, our commitment. That's at the Edgewood. Oop. I thought that was here in Greenwood. It's not. Edgewood Community Center. Sorry, that's not something... Oh my gosh, Ann, this is hysterical. I thought that was here. We have an Edgewood Community Center. Well, no, it says Greenwood, so maybe that's where the main thing is. Free breakfast and lunch at the Edgewood Community Center every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This program is designed to ensure that every child has access to healthy meals and a safe, welcoming environment during the summer months. I think this program may be just for children, but it is here in our area at the Edgewood Community Center. Well, let's talk about something that's kind of crossed my brain this morning. Here I was saying it was for everybody. I don't think it is. I think it's just for children. Free breakfast, free lunch, no cost to families, open to youth 18 and under. So that's the Edgewood Community Center, which is, I believe, is it over near 96? All right, then there is... That scared me. There's a disclaimer there's a thing down at the bottom. I don't know whether that's who the sponsors it, but it says Ohio. And I said, whoa, that's what threw me off. But it actually is here in our area at the Edgewood Community Center. So check that out. This is for kids 18 and under. Now, of course, the Festival of Discovery is coming up. I'll be working overtime with all our musical interviews that'll actually start, I believe, on Monday the 6th from 4 to 6. We'll be knocking it out of the park right here with music from a lot of the artists that will be here for the Festival of Discovery. But there's so many events going on. One of them that you have to sign up for, though, is Calling All Junior Pitmasters. Kids Q is your chance to have fun and show off barbecue skills. It's for ages 6 to 15 are welcome. You have to register at uptowngreenwood.com. That's uptowngreenwood.com, and then you look for the Kids Q. But they get a lot of things. That usually they get a little grill, they get this. They have to come and create their own recipe. There will be a parent that will be supervising, but the kids actually have to cook it. It is one of the fun events to go see. Don't know, I think that is usually Friday night. Yes, Friday night is when that, I believe, is. So, and that's usually at the Uptown Market. I haven't seen exactly. Yep, it's going to be at the Uptown Market, July 10th at 6 p.m. Come, let's see, competition for a chance to win cash prizes and the title of Kids Q Champion. So that's pretty awesome. Also, coming up tomorrow, there is a free food giveaway tomorrow, June 26th, at the 96 Elementary School over there in 96, 810 Johnston Road. You do not have to get out of the car. You just drive up and they will put a box of food in your car. This is Second Harvest Food Bank of the Metrolina that will be bringing in that food. So no paperwork, just come, drive up, and they will put it in your car. That will be tomorrow morning at 96 Elementary School, 810 Johnston Road. That usually starts at our production. Let's see, no need to get out of the car, one dry food box and one produce box, 9 a.m. until gone. So be over there at 9 o'clock to get free food. So that's a pretty awesome thing. They do this at least once a month. Now I want to talk about another story that well, let's see, what else did I have here? Oh, yes, I want to talk about this too. Backed by popular demand, how sweet it is. Bream and Shell Cracker Tournament is coming back to Greenwood. Tentative date is July 25th. For being back here, 5:45 a.m. blast off, 2 p.m. weigh in, 5 fish limit, and that'll be the Lake Greenwood Bait and Tackle will be, I think, where that is going to be the point. They do have entry fees, but I think that is the Shell Cracker Bream Tournament. Again, the date will be July 25th. It will be held at the One Stop Marina. If you're interested in the bay, I need to know ASAP so we can plan that. It would be same day as the boat, but totally separate. It's on a tournament, same entry fee side. $100 total entry fee. Yes, the banks there are holding some good fish. And the kids they proved that Saturday was a great day to do it. So that is coming up. What else did we have? Oh, yes, we've got the stage lineup for all the groups that are coming here to Greenwood. And the Pirates, Privateers, and Buccaneers. a traveling exhibit from the South Carolina State Museum will June 27th to September 6th. That is going to be over in Lawrence at the Lawrence County Museum. I bring this up because I think it sounds so cool. Anyways, this exhibit will dispel a number of popular myths about pirates and address the problems of modern piracy. I think that's something that's very relevant, and that will be at the Lawrence County Museum. So I just wanted to mention that. I thought that was the opening is on the 27th. We are open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 3. If you're looking for something fun to do, go over there and check out a little different exhibit with Pirates, Privateers, and Buccaneers, a traveling exhibit from the South Carolina State Museum. By the way, the 27th, Saturday, is at the State Museum. They have revamped and retooled the museum down there. They're having a free day to go down there and check out all those things. So, those are some of the things that I know about. I did want to have a fun one that somebody had posted as a little joke, but I thought it was kind of timely. In California, they have my first hobo camp. Yes, in practicing for being a homeless person, you can get your child Big Adventures for Little Hobos. It says it has a pop-up tent. It's perfect for indoor or outdoor play, breathable mesh windows, and what's it say? Encourages imagination and play. Only in California. Can you get such a thing? That's pathetic. That's pathetic. However, it's said with a little tongue-in-cheek, and I thought it was kind of cool. All right, I'm Ann Eller. This is WCRS Radio. We've talked a lot about a lot of different things this morning. I hope you have enjoyed a trip down memory lane here and talking about modern and past and how they come together to make for interesting bedfellows, right? Interesting bedfellows, as Shakespeare would say. So that is going to do it for me here today. I kind of talked over a little bit, but since Penny was sleeping, I said, okay, let's let Penny sleep. Let's let Penny sleep. So if you would like to comment, 864-332-9355. Don't forget, this afternoon, I think it's at Cambridge Park, James Long is having a meet and greet. So they're going to have free snow cones and I think hot dogs. I think it's 5 until 7 maybe. I don't have any notes here in front of me. Just did want to mention it. It's political season. Will be ramping back up again. And I thought today we would just take a little break from it. So thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Penny, I'm glad you got to sleep in today. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.